Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Great to be back.
Today we're tackling a question that's definitely on a lot of investors' minds. Is Novo Nordisk a good time to buy right now?
Yeah, it's a big one. They've had quite a run.
Exactly. So we'll be exploring their recent performance, looking at upcoming catalysts, and the sort of overall outlook. We've got a stack of recent reports and analyses here to give you the full picture.
Right, we'll try and piece it all together.
And before we jump into the analysis, just a quick reminder. If you're finding these discussions valuable, please do remember to subscribe, like us, maybe leave a comment. And definitely, if there's a specific company you'd like us to look into, let us know in the comments below. We do read them.
Indeed. Our mission today is really to sift through all this data, dissect the opportunities, and also shine a light on the potential headwinds around Novo Nordisk.
Yeah, cut through the noise a bit.
Exactly. We want to equip you with the insights you need to make, genuinely informed decisions about what's driving this pharmaceutical giant.
Okay, let's unpack this then. For those who might not be super familiar, Novo Nordisk is a global leader, especially dominant in, well, two critical health areas.
Yeah.
What's the core of their business, and fundamentally, how are they doing?
Well, what's really fascinating here is Novo Nordisk's almost unassailable position, you could say. They command roughly 30% of the global market share in diabetes care.
That's huge.
It is. That's a massive segment, and they've been pioneers there for decades. But maybe even more compelling lately is their leadership in the anti-obesity segment. It's growing incredibly fast.
With Wegovy and Ozempic, right?
Precisely. Products like Wegovy and Ozempic.
Yeah.
And these aren't just market leaders, they're GLP-1 products. Glucagon-like peptide-1.
Okay.
These drugs basically mimic a natural gut hormone. They're revolutionizing how we treat not just diabetes by helping regulate blood sugar, but also, more recently and dramatically, obesity by helping control appetite.
So they're really setting the pace.
They genuinely are setting the pace for innovation in these areas, yeah.
And financially, how does that translate?
Well, if you look at their latest annual report, for 2024, the figures are incredibly robust. Revenue hit DKK 277.5 billion.
Which is about?
That translates to a staggering roughly USD 40.2 billion, and that's a 31% year-over-year surge.
Wow.
Mostly, as you'd guess, fueled by that explosive demand for the GLP-1s.
Makes sense.
And what's truly impressive is their operating profit. DKK 112.6 billion, so about USD 16.3 billion, with a really strong operating margin of 40.6%.
40.6%. That seems exceptionally high for pharma.
It is. It's not just strong. It's frankly a colossal achievement in this industry. It points to more than just efficient management.
Like pricing power.
Exactly. Significant pricing power, cost discipline. It suggests Novo Nordisk isn't just growing. They're doing it with profitability that, very few peers can actually match.
And that generates a lot of cash for R&D and returns, I imagine.
Precisely. Ample cash for future innovation and shareholder returns.
Okay, so strong growth, incredible margins. What about the balance sheet, overall financial health, debt, cash flow?
Their balance sheet is remarkably robust. As of December 2024, their total interest-bearing debt was actually quite low, DKK 16.1 billion.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah, especially when you compare it to their cash holdings. They had DKK 24.7 billion in cash, so more cash than debt.
That's a strong position.
Very. And they generated an astounding DKK 95.4 billion in free cash flow. That's up significantly from the prior year.
Wow.
And this kind of financial strength is critical, right? It gives them immense flexibility for future growth, aggressive R&D, weathering storms, competitive pressures.
Well, they're not just growing, they're secure.
Exactly. Doing it from a position of profound financial security.
Okay, that paints a picture of a company with, very strong financials, commanding presence, and the muscle to keep innovating. But, the market moves fast.
It does.
Let's pivot to the immediate past. What have been the big moments for Novo Nordisk over the last 3 months, say July to September 2025? What shaped their recent path?
Absolutely. The last quarter has been quite a ride for them. July was particularly significant. Wegovy, their big anti-obesity drug, received regulatory approval for MSH, that's metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis.
MSH. Okay, what does that mean practically?
It's a game changer, potentially. It expands Wegovy's use way beyond just weight loss. It opens up this whole new, massive patient population.
A liver disease, right?
Yes, a progressive liver disease with limited treatment options. So this approval isn't just like an incremental step. It's a significant diversification and shows the broader potential of these GLP-1s.
But it wasn't all positive news, was it? Competition heated up.
No, it wasn't all smooth sailing. That same period saw market share pressure really intensify from Eli Lilly's competing GLP-1s, Mounjaro, and Zepbound.
Formidable competitors.
Absolutely. But Novo Nordisk responded effectively. They didn't just sit back. They pushed aggressive R&D investments, strategic international launches.
Trying to counter the U.S. pressure.
Exactly. Help them counter some of those domestic promotional challenges. It really highlights this fierce but also innovative race in this very lucrative market.
So a major win with MEH, but this intense competition simmering. How did the market react in August?
August brought a strong, positive shift in sentiment for investors. The stock actually rebounded sharply, climbed a notable 26.5% from its early August lows.
Quite a jump, driven by the MEH news.
Yeah, reflected renewed optimism right after those clinical and regulatory wins, especially MEH, which really underscored that long-term growth story. And crucially, they also made big strides improving their GLP-1 supply chain.
That was a bottleneck, wasn't it?
A major bottleneck, limited access. So better supply plus extended patent protections helped restore confidence globally, even with, compounding pharmacies trying to fill gaps earlier.
So they could handle the demand operationally.
Demonstrated their operational agility, exactly.
Okay, and then September. What headlines dominated this month?
September saw robust international sales growth, particularly outside the U.S. That was critical.
Why critical?
Well, this strong performance in global markets helped offset some of the U.S. pricing pressures they faced. It drove overall revenue expansion and showcased their diversified global reach.
Good diversification, then. Anything else?
However, a significant headline also surfaced: allegations of a securities class action lawsuit.
Oh, about what?
Regarding past disclosures, there's a lead plaintiff application deadline coming up September 30th, 2025.
So a legal overhang now.
Exactly. It introduces a legal dimension investors are certainly watching closely, might not hit operations short term, but it creates uncertainty, potential costs down the line.
Right. That lawsuit definitely adds a layer of uncertainty, something to monitor. Okay, so looking forward now, beyond these past few months, what specific events or dates should we be, circling on our calendars, things that could really move the needle?
Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? What's going to define their near-term path? We do have several key dates coming up. September 30th, as we just mentioned, the class action lead plaintiff deadline.
Sets the stage for the lawsuit's direction.
Precisely. Then October 15th, there's the MSCI ETF rebalancing decision. Sounds technical, I know.
But it impacts passive flows, right?
Exactly. It can drive passive flow volatility. If Novo Nordisk's weighting changes in major indices, big funds tracking them have to adjust holdings. That can create significant short-term price moves, sometimes regardless of the fundamentals.
Okay, good to know. What's the main event, though?
The primary focus for the coming quarter, undoubtedly, will be the Q3 2025 earnings release on November 10th.
What are analysts looking for there?
Well, they expect continued strong international Wegovy uptake, driven by those expanded launches. And we'll get the early impacts from the MAH indication. How quickly is that new market being tapped?
And margins.
Yeah.
Still holding up.
That's the other big thing. Investors will be scrutinizing margin resilience. Given U.S. pricing adjustments, increased competition, maintaining those incredible 40% plus operating margins will be absolutely key. Any deviation could signal challenges.
Makes sense. Now, beyond those confirmed dates, I've heard some, let's say, exciting rumors swirling, things that, if true, could be massive.
Indeed. And this is where it gets really interesting. One major speculative catalyst, and frankly, a potential redefinition of the company,
Go on.
is the possibility of fast-tracked preliminary results for the Phase 3 Alzheimer's trial of semaglutide.
Semaglutide, the same drug as Ozempic Wegovy for Alzheimer's.
The very same GLP-1 mechanism. And results could come as soon as late Q4 2025. Now, think about the scale of the Alzheimer's market compared to obesity.
It was orders of magnitude larger.
Completely different ballgame. If semaglutide shows even modest positive effects there, it wouldn't just be a catalyst, it'd be a huge re-rating event, fundamentally altering their trajectory, investor perception.
Beyond just GLP-1s for diabetes and obesity.
Exactly. It would position them as a major player in neurological diseases. Huge.
Wow. Okay. What other rumors are out there?
Another one suggests Novo Nordisk might be exploring bolt-on acquisitions in rare metabolic disorders.
Diversifying away from GLP-1 reliance.
Smart move, potentially. Reduce that heavy reliance, broaden their therapeutic reach, maybe unlock new growth areas that are less hyper-competitive.
Anything else on the pipeline front?
There's market debate around an accelerated regulatory path for their oral GLP-1 program. If that happens, approval filings could come late this year.
Oral would be a big advantage over injectables.
Huge competitive advantage. More accessible, more convenient for patients. And finally, we're hearing they might be preparing for major IP defense campaigns in Asia.
Protecting their patents.
Crucial for maintaining market exclusivity and profitability globally, especially for those flagship products.
Wow, okay. That is a lot of potential news on the horizon. From earnings to MARS uptake to, well, potentially game-changing Alzheimer's results and strategic moves.
It's a busy time for them.
So, with all these factors at play, what do the technicals tell us about the stock price right now? And what are the major risks we should keep in mind beyond just the competition?
Right, looking at the technicals. As of September 2nd, 2025, the stock closed at $56.37. It's been trading relatively tightly between $53 and $57 over the past month.
So support and resistance levels.
Yeah, key support seems to be around $53. That's a level where buying interest tends to step in historically. Resistance is near $57, where selling pressure often emerges.
And moving averages?
The 50-day moving average is around $55. Importantly, the price is currently trading above both its 50-day and 200-day averages.
Which usually signals.
Typically indicates a bullish medium-term trend. Suggests momentum is generally to the upside.
Okay. Any other indicators? RSI? MACD 80?
Yeah, the relative strength index, RSI, is in the 55-65 range. That's sort of neutral to slightly overbought, not extreme either way.
So not screaming buy or sell based on that alone.
Right. And the MACD, moving average convergence, divergence, while it shows positive momentum overall, there's a minor divergence appearing.
What does that divergence hint at?
Well, it often indicates that while the upward trend is still intact, the strength of that momentum might be slowing down a bit. Chartists might see that as suggesting a period of consolidation, maybe sideways trading, rather than another immediate big jump up.
And volatility?
Volatility is moderate, pretty typical for a defensive healthcare stock like Novo Nordisk. Less dramatic swings than, say, a tech growth stock.
Okay, so technicals look generally positive, but maybe hinting at a pause or consolidation soon. That's helpful. What about the risks, though? Every company has them.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, despite Novo Nordisk's strength, there are definite material risks. First, the sheer scale of global GLP-1 demand. Scaling production is a massive challenge.
The supply chain issues we mentioned.
Exactly. We've seen shortages. Dependence on manufacturing partners creates potential bottlenecks. It's a huge operational hurdle that could limit revenue, even for a market leader.
Then there's the competition.
Intense, accelerating competition from Eli Lilly. Also Pfizer getting into the game. It's a rapidly evolving market. New entrants, maybe better products, could erode share or pressure pricing.
Regulatory risks, too.
Always in pharma. Potential delays for new indications, new drug approvals that pushes back timelines, revenue, and of course the ever-present risk of U.S. drug pricing reforms.
A perennial concern.
Any legislative action to control drug costs could significantly hit net sales and profitability, especially for a company reliant on high-margin branded drugs. And finally, that class action lawsuit.
Even if it doesn't disrupt operations now.
It could linger on sentiment, create negative headlines, incur substantial legal costs, even if they win in the end.
Okay. So given all of this, the strong fundamentals, exciting catalysts like MAH, potentially Alzheimer's, but also this fierce competition, supply challenges, legal issues, what's the overall investment thesis for Novo Nordisk from the sources you've looked at?
Well, the overall rating for Novo Nordisk, based on our stack of sources, is actually quite strong. It comes in at an 8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
Despite the risks?
Yes, because its strengths are seen as undeniable and deeply embedded. Robust revenue growth, those industry-leading profit margins, a strong pipeline beyond current blockbusters, and that competitive dominance.
But the valuation is high, isn't it?
It is. It's at a premium, currently around 35 times forward earnings, but this is often seen as justifiable.
Why is that?
Because of its exceptional growth trajectory, the sheer size of the addressable markets, and its consistent, strong cash generation. That provides stability and flexibility.
What are analysts saying?
Consensus is largely positive. Recent upgrades to overweight or buy ratings, reflecting confidence, insider sales look routine, modest, no major red flags there.
And the best investment horizon? Short-term, long-term?
Definitely long-term, according to the analysis. While there might be momentum for short-term trades, the risk-reward profile looks superior on a multi-year horizon.
Driven by
continued category expansion in obesity and diabetes, the potential from new indications like MASH and Alzheimer's, and maybe an improving margin profile as they scale. Short-term upside, though, might be constrained by that premium valuation and the technical resistance near $57 we talked about.
So, summing it up, what does this all mean for you, the listener, considering Novo Nordisk?
Well, Novo Nordisk presents a really compelling case, doesn't it? Market leadership, formidable financials, a pipeline poised for more growth with exciting developments, their operational excellence, strategic position, it's all very clear. However, it's also operating in a very dynamic, highly competitive environment, facing significant supply chain demands, ongoing litigation. Understanding these multiple perspectives, the potential alongside the real challenges, is absolutely key.
A lot to weigh up. The question of whether it's a good time to buy now really hinges on your own strategy or risk tolerance, especially with that premium valuation baked in.
Exactly. It's about weighing that undeniable quality and growth potential against the current price and those competitive and operational pressures.
And that's really the core takeaway here, isn't it? While the future for Novo Nordisk looks exceptionally bright, it's certainly not without its challenges.
Informed investing means understanding both sides of that equation.
Well said. Thank you for joining us for this look at Novo Nordisk. We really hope this analysis has given you some valuable insights.
Yeah, hopefully useful food for thought.
And something for you to consider as we sign off. How might that potential breakthrough in Alzheimer's treatment, if it actually pans out, fundamentally alter Novo Nordisk's long-term story and how investors see them? Could it truly shift perception beyond just being a GLP-1 powerhouse?
A big question to ponder.
Until next time.